TI, and they will be playing against Team Spirit. We're going to have a quick break, and we'll be back with that matchup.
Place your bets at gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at gg.bet.
Virtus.pro are joining the Brawl. For the first time in this season, the full roster of Bears will be playing against Team Spirit at the Maincast Autumn Brawl, live on the Dota 2 MC Twitch channel.
Place your bets at gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at gg.bet.
Virtus.pro are joining the Brawl. For the first time in this season, the full roster of Bears will be playing against Team Spirit at the Maincast Autumn Brawl, live on the Dota 2 MC Twitch channel.
Welcome back to the Maincast Autumn Brawl, and welcome back to the quarterfinals, our last quarterfinals actually of the single elimination bracket. And we're going to have Virtus.pro taking on Team Spirit. And for that matchup, we have also finally been able to kick Kyle off the panel, and we've replaced him. We've upgraded him with Lizard. Hey, Lizard, how are you doing?
Doing well.
Good,
After
good.
those words, feeling good.
Good. We're gonna see this matchup, and we have not yet seen Virtus.pro with their full lineup since TI. So there's two ways this story can go, God, surely. Either they're gonna run over Spirit and there wasn't really any competition to begin with, or they're rusty.
Yeah, and also it's like, who knows what kind of VP's mentality's at, you know? We saw them even in the qualifiers after they were playing those last few matches, clowning around. They'd already qualified for the major, so it was like seeding matches. But they're a team who, given the chance, will pick some fun stuff. They played a Summit LAN and went through the Old Hero Challenge, so these guys will mess around if you give them some room to do so.
They're basically a bunch of friends, right? They play well together. They are enjoying those because they just love doing what they're doing. Plus, the friendship is great there, and they're all such nice, good guys. I wonder if those nice, good guys were actually practicing for this tournament at all, because I'm certain Team Spirit has been. At least they've been in the tournament. They've had to like go through these lower stages. They had to practice. They had to think about the meta all the time. I don't know. Was it for them? It was definitely only play no fun. I'm not so certain about Virtus.pro. And is that gonna show or not?
I think they're gonna come in strong.
Right.
After like, at least for me, watching VP at TI, like it left this like bad taste in my mouth that I'm just like, man, I want to see the VP that we saw all year. Like, and I feel like this, they're gonna start tryharding again, like really intensely this year because of that. They're probably so disappointed in themselves. Like I think this year it's like gonna be like, all right, we kind of proved something last year, but then we flopped the TI. This year we have to do double. So I think they're gonna go.
There's
going to
be no chill.
I don't think so.
I think they had a problem with the patches as well. Like they're really acclimated to one patch, and then the patch changes. They don't really find their heroes properly. The Chen gets nerfed a little bit here and there. Roger loses some of his heroes too.
He was a pretty dedicated roamer. Like he didn't play that dual lane meta very well.
He was like, when I started playing with him, he was actually playing mid, and he was just crushing on mid as well. And then he rotates on 4, and like he is a roamer, but he always has a lot of gold because he has that sense. He sees the opportunity to steal a little bit away from his cores, but not in a way in which he sacks them. He actually just utilizes that gold so well into clever itemizations, so that I don't know. Virtus.pro seems good with him, and in this patch, I think they've practiced enough. I think they might just acclimate themselves to this dual lane meta after all.
They're playing lots of pubs, and they're, as far as the CIS scene goes, they are some of the most talented players in their role. I don't think anyone will argue against that.
I mean, the three cores for me are, every time I look at them, I'm just amazed. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, Solo and Roger, absolutely amazing, but these other three, like Pasha, No One, and Ramses, are unstoppable.
Amazing.
Yeah, they are just so
no one
good.
wants to play No One.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
9 is one of those really style-looking mid players. I'd say that's the matchup I'm excited to see. Is
Actually,
9 versus No One
you're
mid.
so right. That's hype.
Yeah.
That matchup is so hype. It's gonna be interesting on the mid lane.
It's like top 2 EU/CIS MMRs, right? Like these guys are definitely play against each other all the time in pubs in the mid lane. So yeah, it's gonna be
They
sick.
flame each other every now and then.
Even better.
There's that as well. So the beef is there. It's gonna be fun, definitely.
Yeah, there's so many times you see VP go up against a team and you're like, oh man, No One's just going to crush mid, and like, how do you win this matchup because he's just going to win mid? And this time it's like, okay, it's an even mid matchup maybe, or at least a competitive one.
Do you feel like they're also going to be able to allow that mid matchup to be an even one? Because with those, like, Team Spirit is a good team, but you know that 9 is going to be the star player. So, I mean, Virtus.pro knows that too. So they're just going to make sure that they draft No One's hero last.
I mean, so far in this tournament, everything has been about drafts, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you have a really good draft with Phoenix and Trient, and sometimes you pick Visage Draw on the lane and you lose horribly. You know, and it's the same with mid. Not as much. Like we had some even heroes like Duza versus Sniper. It's kind of an even matchup. It doesn't really dominate. It doesn't go either way. But we've had some games like the Veno versus Magnus, in which Veno gets solo kill time after time. Still loses the game though. But if they just put enough resources into 9, I think they're definitely able to take down No One. Like, it shouldn't be a problem.
Who's the carry for Spirit again? I'm blanking out.
Oliver.
It's
Or-
Oliver, right?
or
Yeah, it's
Oliver.
Oliver.
Skeeter,
Okay,
right.
yeah, that's right. I was like,
Skeeter.
wait, it's not naive.
No.
Yeah. I was like really
Wrong
trying to think
team.
about. I was confusing the two for a bit. No, I mean, yeah, definitely. That's the mid matchup is definitely the one to look at. I agree.
And you have these two really good drafters, right? So they're not going to allow their midders to have a disadvantaged matchup for sure. Like
FNG.
FNG on one side and Solo on the other.
His former team.
Oh, actually, yes.
No.
Yeah, he was a VP staple
Yeah,
for
he was
many
their,
years.
Yeah.
He was their captain for such a long time.
We
PL.
do have a draft, and Dro gets banned. Even though Dro did lose the last 2 games. You know.
That was a good factor, right?
Yeah.
The last 2 games, Drow got nerfed after game 1, 5 agi, and lost the 2 games afterwards.
Quick draft, though.
Wow.
Ooh, what?
Ooh.
The blue draft, actually.
Yeah, for all
Look at that.
sides. So
First
far.
stage Zeus ban too. That's been one of 9's best heroes. A Legion Commander?
What?
It's been picked. It's
That
been
one,
picked.
that one caught me completely off guard. Wait, what?
LC has been picked in Asia a lot, I think.
I don't think it's a bad hero. It's just like first 2 Legion. Like, where does this
And
come
Wisp
from?
Legion, actually, that used to be an old school combo on the offlane, if they decide to roll that combo. But
Do you guys know how the interaction works? I think I remember it. It's the curse does not override the duel, right?
Duel, I think, takes priority over like everything.
I think duel takes priority.
Even like a second Duel going off, it's like with certain mechanics, like the first one always takes
Yeah,
priority.
I think so
anything
too.
will stop that.
Because I don't think axe call removes the duel, right?
Yeah.
The duel you don't turn and hit the axe. You still keep hitting the duel card, I think.
No.
Or
You don't turn and hit the axe, but you're not hitting the Legion commander.
so what are you doing?
think.
Just standing there? You throw the
You
left-
literally are just saying, like,
Analysts.
I think.
Okay.
I am
I had
not
to do
the
this to him.
analyst here, but
had to do
I
this to us.
think
I
that
think
is
you're
how
right.
it goes.
I don't remember, honestly.
You know what? Another combination of those
We can test it.
two blue heroes on the right side. You have the Wyvern and the Morphling, and it's not really common, but you can take that talent to morph into allies, And if you morph into Wyvern, you use the first spell, the Arctic Burn, and then you can actually hit from range. You have a free pike.
Yep.
It's actually not that bad of a thing to do. Usually we see morphlings when they're playing versus Wyverns do that, but it's an option here as well. I think Thompson does that a lot, right?
Yeah, he does.
He morphs into his allies.
I like it. I mean, I like the morph versus Legion too, though. You can turn into Legion, you give yourself the press the attack, and you attack like a
that's
crazy
so good
person
well.
in team fights.
Yeah,
It's
that's scary,
quite strong.
actually.
Yeah.
They pick Legion response to morph, I guess, like having the dual catch.
Yeah.
Same way as an axe, like you blade mail, you duel him. If he's not morphing strength, he's going to kill himself on the blade mail.
It's hard to do though, right? When you have the animation, it's pretty long. Like with Blink, the morphling in theory should always get the shift off if he's not doing it from like invis, like a Shadow Blade or something like that.
And if he itemizes, Lincolns or something like that, it's not gonna be easy for an LC to catch that duel. Definitely, we see the Bane, like Bane, it's good versus the duel, I suppose, as well. But you already have, like we already have Cold Embrace. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
Like Cold Embrace is so good versus the duel too. You basically have to duel the Winter Wyvern or handle him somehow. If you don't, the Cold Embrace is gonna just be used on the target that's dueled. So
I want them to have some vision on Spirit so they can do exactly that. Try to get on top of the Wyvern with the Legion Commander. I think they just have to do that in most fights. If the Wyvern's there, yeah, just like you said, Cold Embrace comes out, team fight can just get turned.
also another thing, like these two picks are giving so much. Like Wyvern versus Wisp, it's also good because if you relocate aggressively, it's an old school counter because
you curse the IO and he dies.
Exactly, you just curse the IO and he's dead, and your whole relocate gank is garbage. They're definitely taking their time with this last ban.
Yep.
I'm glad to see Wyvern. After like the last series, we saw Drow every game and we didn't see like a single Wyvern. I was like, how is this happening right now?
It's such a strong hero.
Yeah.
Like Wyvern. Also, it's very, very weird that the Drow is being picked all the time and the Wyvern isn't. Yeah. These last two games.
You can dispel the Wyvern Q with the press the attack, right? So that's one thing that can also be happening in lanes.
Okay.
And, snap AA.
More blue.
More blue indeed, and AA instantly. I mean, I love the AA versus Morph. I love the AA plus the LC. It's so good.
But the AA plus IO.
AA plus Wisp.
You got no disables on your two supports. You've got no D push either.
They're going to have to get some utility out of their other cores, I feel, at least one of them.
I mean, now they've got a Centaur versus like we were saying, no stuns on the two supports. They just stampede to get the hell out of there.
Exactly.
So AA, I'm trying to think, what do you want to lane with the AA? Skitter plays a lot of Wraith King. Like this may just be like, well, you want to plot something that has a disable, some kind of initiation.
That used to be a really strong lane, right? But in this dual lane scenario in which you either have a Lich Centaur or a Wyvern Centaur, and if you go like melee, like Wraith King,
you can just die.
Yeah.
Yeah, you walk up to your last hit and you get half your health is gone.
Yeah, so much they can do.
It's still a nice combo though, the stun and the...
Oh yeah.
The Brood has been banned. Yeah, just cheese picks. Spirit and Virtus Pro, they have Brood players. They could all... Like, I haven't seen Ramses go for his Broods in such a long while though.
Yeah, me either actually, that's a good point. And a Shadow Fiend as well, versus a Centaur though.
Again? Well, that went well yesterday, right? Very well.
The Centaur just... we saw exactly that yesterday. He just stampedes and runs on you, and SF is a hero that you need. I mean, you need like a BKB super early then. You're just going to get collapsed on over and over again. And they reveal the mid matchup too.
Yeah.
Well, they have the double
pick. They have
here,
to anyway.
So,
yeah, they have to anyway. That's true.
It doesn't matter too much.
It looks like a scary SF game, to be honest. And there's Morphling as well that can blow him up.
You have to ban TA, right?
I think TA could do very well for his pro, definitely.
What do you think we're going to see no one play if it's not TA, if TA is just going to get banned? What matches up very well against Shadow Fiend?
I like TA or Lina, personally.
Lina too.
And he's really strong on both of those. Yep. You can't ban. And both of those heroes are actually really good for them. Yep. TA is a bit better. I suppose. But
he could even do something like, I mean, we don't like this hero too much, but Queen of Pain. They've like no stun.
That's very old school.
It is old school. It's different.
Good work.
They have no catch on their two supports.
I don't like the Queen of Pain so much.
Okay.
But
Best, yeah.
TA has banned now the Veno.
So it's rather than get a melee hero, they're going to go like this Veno AA lane, it looks like.
Yeah, that can work. And the Veno AA later on is really strong as well.
Yep.
As you have the A ult and Veno ult, it's so strong actually. Plus the Ice Vortex to amplify all of that. It can work definitely. But then again, if you don't hit the A ult on the Morphling, he's just gonna more strength, right? And then you have the Centaur with the reductions as well. If he gets that Aghanims.
He's going to have Ags, he's going to have Pipe.
Ags, Pipe, you deal no damage with these two.
Exactly. And they'll outlast the AA Ice Blast, and then, you know, heals will start kicking in, whatever it may be.
And they don't have the stuns either. You're talking about a Morphling not getting hit by Ice Blast. He's going to be stampeding and waveforming throughout team fights. Like, they're going to be really reliant. It's going to be so hard to catch him.
You have
They just go for Weaver because there's no disables.
I guess
They
they
just
might be
abuse it.
Morphling mid.
Morphling mid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he can match up well there.
That's, I mean, two very elusive core heroes on VP, and they have a Centaur Stampede too versus very little lockdown on Spirit.
So what do you think? Do you put the Weaver versus Veno, or do you put the Weaver versus LC and Wisp? I mean,
See and Wisp?
versus LC and Wisp, you can get on top of the Wisp, I suppose. That's the advantage. But at the same time, the nukes are gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
But if you put it versus Veno, one Gale, it can go either way.
I think Weaver's happy either lane.
Yeah, I think he's not
they're
happy.
fine.
He's not unhappy
The
in
pick
this
just
game.
works because regardless of the lane, in the mid game, he's a great hero to hunt down the IO. He's going to just give them this ability
Exactly,
to
it's so good.
remove IO, and once IO's out of the way, SF is like no protection.
And even AA. Like AA.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
these
God.
heroes,
Weaver is
you
actually
you hate playing versus Weaver in this type of game. And now they have like, you can get so easily into the backlines. Weaver, Centaur, yeah.
Yeah, you have to itemize. Like if you're A and Wisp, you have to now itemize versus that hero to defend yourself, right? And you don't want to do that. You want to be aggressive with your items. You want to be getting items that are going to benefit you in different ways, such as Zern, such as Mech on Wisp, right? Now you need a Ghost, maybe.
So it's all about being able to lock people down and getting the right itemization because the draft they did not win.
Yeah, I'm liking VP's draft quite a lot right now. Elusive cores versus no disable.
I mean they have one duel and that's
Just duel.
it.
It's up to 9. His Shadow Fiend needs to have a fantastic game. He needs to outplay. He needs to take down no one.
Let's find out what's going to happen in the first game of the series with OD Pixel and Kyle.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yep, this is going to be a good one. Virtus Pro versus Team Spirit. I'm OD Pixel. I'm here, joined by Kyle. We've just seen the two drafts. We're getting something a little bit different. Spirit opening with an IO and a Legion Commander out of all heroes. We don't see a lot of Legion Commander nowadays.
No, we
Kyle, do
definitely don't.
They've picked it up. They've rolled it up with sort of an AA Veno finisher and this SF as well. As the panel said, we can look towards 9, maybe making the flashy plays happen. But they're doing it against Virtus Pro, back as the full roster, back as the full 5-man that we knew and we loved going up to the whole season before TI. TI was, you know, they didn't win it. That's what they wanted. They didn't make it. They did okay. They won a few games. They took home a few $100,000. It's not too bad. But they had a great season. They're back this season. Same roster. Let's see how they do.
Yep. They look good from the games I haven't watched because this is actually their first tournament of the season.
Really?
Wait, no, it's not. This is the first game with their full roster
full
of
roster.
the season.
We saw them before, of course, with FN
Yep.
instead of Pasha. Ramsey's playing the sort of offlane FN, playing the carry. Yes,
Yeah,
not as this full 5.
They dropped a game, I think, but they still look very dominant.
Yeah.
We can expect them to probably continue to be the top dogs of the region. It's going to be a rough game, I think, for the support duo like Lizard touched on. I'd be a little concerned playing a Veno into both a Weaver and a Morphling. I feel like VP is in a position where it's just going to be so much easier for them to move around the map and just make things happen, whereas Spirit is all in on this idea that LC and SF are going to snowball.
2 heroes that, as I sort of said, I mean, what is sort of the reasoning why we don't see a lot of Legion Commander? Like, what is the downside of this hero? Is it just that it's just so snowball oriented that if you do not have that sort of you know, good blink dagger timing and you do start finding these pickoffs after pickoffs, the hero just does nothing, or?
I don't think he's as good in dual lanes as a lot of other offlaners. I feel like her talents aren't the greatest either. They don't really feel that impactful, and just really single target. It's weird that your ultimate, it's just not good for the patch, it feels. Like it doesn't do enough. And it feels like all these other offlane type heroes just have a lot more utility in their skill set. You can't really do anything different with LC. You're pretty much forced to snowball. No real comeback mechanic. And if you can't win duels early on in the game, it just feels like you're very underwhelming in your damage output.
What we're seeing in terms of lane, as you said, you know, not really the best dual lane hero. They're going to leave him on his own. Hester Joe's down there on the solo for the moment being against Roger and Ramses. And so far so good. He's able to trade a fair bit back at them, punching them and getting up and close into the face of the Weaver. Of course, nice and squishy hero those early levels. And this dual lane mid, as we're seeing, 9 being backed up by FNG, no one being backed up by Solo, and an attempt by either side to either punish the SF or obviously for Team Spirit to secure 9's farm at the start of this lane.
This is super favorable for VP though. You hate dual laning against another dual lane when the enemy has a Lich, and SF also very weak in the early levels. So the concept is, you know, you want to make sure he's not dual lane against, but this is like an old school bread and butter dual lane mid. The Lich Morphling combo, this was good. I think people were picking this all the way back in like 2012, probably all the way back in Dota 1. I mean, it's just such a great combination because your Morph is relatively weak at the early levels. You protect the low range last hitting, and at the same time, your kill threat is insane. A Nova into a wave forward is just almost always going to land a kill, especially on something squishy like SF.
Absolutely. Man, 9
Look at
has
her
to be
ass, too.
very careful. A couple of blasts, he's down to less than half HP. He's only got 1 pool tango left and a Fairy Fire.
Yep. And down bottom, the Weavers dominating that lane as well, whereas Centaur up top, you're not threatened at all by Wisp Venomancer. It's going to be annoying, but you're not going to die.
Mid lane 9, he'll put the Fairy Fire, does have a salve. He's able to turn around with an extra raise onto no one. So VP not quite able to chase down the kill. 9 able to keep himself alive, and now it is no one that's very low, so he will have to back away a little bit from the wave. 9 will be able to secure a fair few CS. 11, 12 for 1 at the moment on 9, 14 for 0 on no one. So, you know, considering sort of this dual lane, 9 still able to sort of match the farm of no one at the moment.
Yep, it's probably going to be a pretty static early game. There aren't really any heroes that can naturally rotate, and probably just going to see them all sitting in lanes. Isn't really much tower pressure on either side as well, so it's going to be more about the heroes just looking to accelerate into the mid game, specifically Shadow Fiend, Morph and Weaver. It's just going to be tough. I feel like VP, if you look at their team fight, it's so much stronger than Spirit, who are all in on this idea that the duel, the AA ult, and the reload will be able to find them like that 1 or 2 kills that then sort of snowball into the follow-ups, but where's the lockdown? You know, that's kind of the flow with LC. Sure, she has a disable, but it's ult, and it's a long cooldown. They have no real method of catch after it's down.
They really don't. They don't really have sort of heroes that can itemize for anything that sort of resolves that problem. So, as you say, it's all going to be on making those moves happening with the LCIO. Because when they do make them happen, you mentioned with the Ice Blast, I mean with the damage from the Venom, they have got a lot of means to get the kills, but it's certainly going to be one of those games where, you know, eventually, once you sort of have this Morphling and Weaver second item getting a BKB, they're going to be able to have free reign around the team fights. It's going to be very hard for Team Spirit to kill off those cores of VP.
Yep. And I think late game as well, VP is very favored, but just again, thanks to their massive team fight edge. I feel like getting a last pick Weaver as well is just pretty scary. Heroes banned every game in the first series we watched, and was first two'd almost exclusively at TI, either banned or picked. The Wyvern as well, just a very underrated hero and kind of a 1-to-1 counter to the Legion Commander, although there is plenty of magic damage for Spirit to kind of ignore the Cold Embrace.
Still, and this mid lane as it goes on, starting to favor Virtus.pro more and more. 28 for 6 on the Morph. Bottom lane Ramses getting an aggressive. Hester Joe's got the stick charges though. Ramsey's not quite getting the 6 yet, but still 27 for 14 against Hester Joe's 12 for 1. This bottom lane heavily favoring the Weaver. And a matchup where Hester Joe is only going to struggle more and more as he does continue to be left on his own. Focus has been on the other lanes. Top lane Pasha's farm has also been punished. 13 for 2, falling a little bit behind up here. And indeed in response, Spirit, they've got Skyter farming very well on the Venomancer, 25 for 19. So both sort of off lanes going that little bit better for each side.
Mid is the real concern for me. You're going to see level 5 picked up on VP first, most likely, and this is just a rough spot for your SF. Yeah, the Venomancer is ahead, but he's not really going to be able to translate that gold into further advantage. It doesn't help you farm much faster if you get those build-up items earlier. It's the Shadow Fiend that needs to look to excel as fast as possible into this game, and it's just rough for 9. I don't think they can even contest mid anymore. And as you can see, they're both looking to stack jungle, but SF isn't even level 5 yet, so you can't even do those. And there really isn't much for an AA to do as well to help out. He just needs 6.
Sitting down bottom, VP. 6 minutes in, trying to go for that first person. Middle lane, 9 pops a salve. He's going to be able to keep it going there as he's able to turn, and no one does have to back off bottom lane. Hester Joe now with the backup of Biver. See Ramses coming in, giving the vision, getting the bugs onto both of them. VP, they have the numbers advantage. Hester Joe goes for the heal onto Biver. The right clicks come through, and a chase down with the Shikuchi will secure Ramses' first blood. Now they'll turn their attention towards Hester Joe as well. He's had that bug on him for quite some time, so the armor ticking down. A few more right clicks should do it. Stick charges will not save it. As Virtus Pro make the rotation, ensure that they have 3 down on the bottom lane to kill both members of Spirit.
That's their big downside when your supports are Lich, or sorry, AA and Wisp. The Wisp TP's in, but what is an AA supposed to do if he were to show up? Offers absolutely nothing. You have no stuns whatsoever. Oh, no one almost goes down to the double raise. And now Solo rotates in.
FNG will be there, just to protect 9 from that sort of movement coming in. And 9, you can see he still wants to play around with this. Seeing if he can catch no one off guard, but no one. Quick blast of the last creep, and he'll retreat down bottom. They've got Roger on their sides. He's got the Arctic Burn to go across the trees, goes for the TP out, but Hester Joe sees him. Does he have the damage? He doesn't. A quick escape from the Wyvern.
I blame the skill build there on our Ancient Apparition friend. 2 points already up in the Vortex. I feel like you definitely need at least the 1 point in Cold Feet, and if you're going to skill anything that rapidly, like put more points in the Chili Fingers.
Yeah. I guess what the temptation was there because he was laning mid with the SF, sort of thinking of that bonus raise magical damage.
It's about the improvement per skill point though. Vortex goes up with a 5% increase in magical damage. Chili Fingers doubles and increase the damage output from 20 to 40 per hit and gives you an extra hit. So it's just far more valuable even just on paper. It's also raw damage output versus percent amplification, but I digress.
So on this bottom lane, Ramses. Level 7 at the moment against Hester Joe's level 5. Right, the difference between the two of them being built up. As you can see on the net worth though, Skyter, his Venomancer sitting at the top.
Took the tower already too.
He's managed to make a lot happen on this top lane as Pasha still sort of slowly easing himself back into the game. Pasha, of course, still ahead of Hester Joe's Legion Commander. As Ramses continues to play around with the Legion. Hester Joe, he has now got that 6. So with a +1, can look for the outplay on Ramses if Ramses oversteps the mark and gets too close. Top lane, another quick TP out from Roger. Will keep him safe as he gets himself away from the onslaught of Skyter. As VP at the moment, just not giving up any kills whatsoever. Everybody playing to their limits. And this mid-morphling certainly looking to be on track to be a much bigger issue this game than the Shadow Fiend that Team Spirit have.
And the concern if your Spirit is that you have Venomancers ahead and you're all happy about this, but those next 2 heroes on the net worth chart, those are built to beat a Venom.
Oh, another escape here from VP as Skyler tries to go on solo. Quick with the Stampede, Pasha's there with the setup, and Ramses with that rotation will get themselves the kill on the big bad Venom. The guy sitting at the top for Spirit, taken out by a movement from VP.
Such fluid movement too. Weaver always wanting to be the one that TPs in and connects. They find a kill on a core and they save the support in the meantime. Roger already bottom, shoving out the lane against an LC that's now 6, which is why Ramses is looking to rotate. You have a hero tailor-made to keep that bottom tower alive, and you don't want to play against a level 6 LC down bottom.
Look at this mid lane. No, wow. There with a cute play. That was beautiful. Comes in, turns into the SF, and a quick few raises.
So clean.
That was very nice. No hesitation there from no one with a heads up, quick finger play.
VP arguably the most raw talent of any team possibly assembled ever in Dota. They unfortunately just don't seem to have that strategical edge when it comes TI time, but man, individually no one and Ramses are I would say definitely the best 1 and 2 in the world, with the exception of possibly Anna and Thompson. But I gotta see them be a little more consistent.
Sure.
You know,
Absolutely.
Thompson played one LAN, won it. You know, you can't keep up that streak forever.
Yeah. Well, when we see OG win next TI, then we'll we'll consider them the best.
Nah, next year I think is got to be the year of LGD, just because we need a new org and new 5 winners.
No, I read the script actually. I believe it's Alliance winning next one.
That one's going straight to video.
Right, look at this one again in this middle lane. Quick plays from no one, catching them totally off guard. You could tell they weren't ready. They weren't ready for the evil Shadow Fiend to come and strike at them.
And it's once again another game where it feels like the opener wasn't addressed. VP going Morphling in that first 2. Yeah, there's an AA, but if AA dies, there's really nothing that kills Morphling any longer. It's the duel into the AA. That's it. That's the only way you're going to be able to kill Noah in this game. Wow, Pasha has a blink.
11 minutes in. And this Pasha, he was having a bit of a tough time up top. They were giving him it. Giving him a lot of pressure, but Pasha, he's ready to make those plays. He's already made the movement towards the middle lane. Seeing if he can set up anything here, but 9 and Biva are playing careful. In fact, they know what's up. FNG's got eyes on him. Quick blink down for Pasha will keep him safe, but won't be able to get that surprise play onto the mid lane that he hoped for.
Yeah, pretty static game still this far. This favors VP, in my opinion. You can look at the vision already up and protecting the Ramsey Sweeper very well. I just love the way they move. It can't be understated. Roger has sat bottom for the last 4 or 5 minutes. Ramsey's had total control up top. Yet a nice smoke from Solo to place these good wards. It's just really effective movement. And now Pasha comes down bottom to join in because he has the Blink Dagger and he wants to apply pressure in the area of the map that Spirit wants to protect. And it also leaves him that clear path to go towards middle in the event he wants to rotate. But they're going to push bot. Tower already at FHP. They might go for this. They will. Just
straight up. Chain Frost thrown down and a couple of bounces and Hester Joe's gone. They do come in with a relocate, but there's the counters. Winter Wyvern straight away with the Winter's Curse. He's going to cause the death of Biva. Virtus Pro get the 2 of them, and 9. He's going to have to TP out of a journey that he made. Ended up killing his friend on it, and now has to leave alone.
Really well played by FNG, trying to avoid the scan. They'll probably give up the hunt now as well. Another great rotation from Ramsey. He's got to wonder what the hell Hester Joe was thinking there. I mean, he knows Centaur has a blink. He saw him in the lane and just gets crushed by the combo, the stun plus the Lich Ult. And they find the AA as well. You'll survive.
Some crisp play from VP.
It's so smooth.
It really is. It's 6-0. It's not like they're getting incredibly ahead, because Team Spirit are still playing very well themselves in the sense that they're performing in the roles and with the heroes that they've got, but it's just the fact that their heroes at this point of the game just don't seem to be able to make any moves in comparison to the way that Virtus Pro is moving around the map, taking these pickoffs and just keeping themselves that step ahead in farm and just keeping constant tabs onto the whereabouts and movements that Spirit have tried to make. For instance, that relocate down bottom. Instantly, Roger was there in position, ready to turn.
And the thing, the SF Shadowblade's that big tempo controlling item. Until that, they aren't really able to make moves with this nice Wisp reload. You want to have that other hero to play around off map, and you can see them, they're going to run right onto a Dire Ward in just a moment. And look at VP pincering them in on the Shrine. They're going to go right for this Wisp. Look at the map control they're exerting.
Right, they're making the whole, this whole half of the map very scary for Spirit to come out in. Ramsey's just with the pressure. He's looking towards Biva. He'll start poking away at this eye. Doesn't want to go too close to the tower, though, as he knows 9 is around.
He's got no fear. How do you kill Ramses?
I mean, that's the power of the 5th pick Weaver, and one of the reasons why we don't see 5th pick Weaver a lot, because teams just don't let it happen in the draft. But Team Spirit did. They let VP have it, and as an option, not taking it away from them. And we can only expect it to be as powerful as it looks so far, as FNG is going to get quickly blasted here by No One and Roger.
And you really want to see your Venomancer look to rotate. This is the problem with the hero in a lot of cases, where you get that initial tower, you crush your lane, but now what? You can continue to be annoying, but all he's succeeding in doing is pushing this top wave until someone from VP is needed to TP in and defend the tier 2. He needs to go middle, I believe, and try and exert some sort of pressure because no one else can. Has to go down again.
Mid lane. Offlane. On offlane action, we're just sort of seeing already just the difference in impact that Pasha can have on a center compared to Hester Joe on the Legion. So this Legion commander with sort of those small item build-ups, he's still a long way away from the Blink Dagger. It's not going to be there in any sort of soon time, and Ramsey's already surging out behind the team, looking for more. The Ice Blast already been sent out, only out onto Ramsey's as well. So they can continue to fight through this. Ramsey's diving in, looking for FNG. He's got this Maelstrom 16 minutes in, so doing a lot of damage. 9, leading forward, trying to punch into Roger. We'll get the D ward. Still VP now 9-0, 4K advantage. Making the game very hard for Spirit to play.
It's just so good, Owen. Like the decision making, the way these guys play, Morphling bottom the entire time. After they get the initial kill on LC, Ramsey's immediately going for the backstab, dives the tower, finds the vision on the AA. They get out after noticing that the the Venomancer is TP'd in, and Ramsey's immediately just goes top to alleviate that pressure that was applied just before by the Veno. So effectively, even though he's the strongest hero on map, Venomancer's done absolutely nothing to try and acquire map control for his team, and again, no catch for Spirit. How do you stop these very elusive cores on Spirit from having total dominance over the map?
There's just no way to start a fight. It's walk in and hope the Legion can press duel on someone, but you know, we're 17 minutes in and we have not seen a single duel being attempted by Hester Joe, because it's not easy to do, just walk in and commit. Before he has this Blink Dagger, very hard for them to get a quick start. 9, this could be what they want, but no one's already shifting into strength. He almost senses.
He does. He has the presence of the Dark Lord on him. He knows this is happening.
And he's out of there. Not something that's going to happen. And now 9, he's not getting away. They got a winner's curse, cancelling the TP. You go for the Shadow Blade on the SF. You do try and hope to make these sort of plays. And yeah, it's not likely you're going to get away with that against VP. They're always going to be prepared. They're always going to be ready to respond.
Yeah, when I played Little League, the Mercy rule was at 12-0. Think you might be fast approaching that, Owen?
10-0. It's weird though, because 18 minutes in, it's like, sure, the kills are something, but a 4K advantage, it's good, but it's not like a absolute beatdown. You know what I mean? Like Spirit, they do still have cores with a decent amount of farm for this portion of the game. You know, they're not falling miles behind, but it's just the way that VP's playing. It almost feels like they're not even trying, VP. They're just casually playing the game, making these moves. They're not feeding. They're not making mistakes. They're making this game look like a walk in the park. This is sort of the VP that we saw time and time again last season, where they play the game perfectly.
Yep. It really does feel like they're just playing Dota, to your point. It's just so fluid, crisp. They're not the sort of team that you know, draws up extensive game plans and has to study too much. They just play a lot of Dota, know and understand each other very well, and they're great. I mean, the core group of 4 has been together for how long? Like 2 TIs already?
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah. So at least 2 years, I want to say.
And they were one of the teams that announced that they locked on for at least another season, wasn't it? I can't remember how long they said they'd done the contracts for, but. And this is why. This is the power you sort of get when you get this right collection of individuals stuck together. Now let's try and catch and chase down a killer with a Stampede, but Spirit will be able to keep their distance.
Love the 4-staff from Pasha going into the Yules next. Another great target, especially when you're playing against heroes like LC, AA, Veno. You can juke the combo or defend a helpless ally from the duel once it's placed on him. And it's not a game-killing advantage thus far for Spirit, or sorry, for VP, but the problem is that you still can't deal with the Weaver and the Morphling. No. And as the game progresses, they're only going to get more and more powerful. They're certainly the strongest late game we have here.
Oh yeah, I mean, once Ramses has the Lincolns, he's unkillable. Yep. He's got to make a big slip up to die. And as we're saying, you know, VP, these guys, they don't make mistakes. You know, we see a lot of teams, you know, that are considered the best in the world. You know, they still lose heroes. You know, they still die. They still have an occasional feed. Not VP. Nope. They literally are not dying this game. Nobody's making any mistakes on VP. I don't think you could play any better than VP is right now in this game with these set of heroes against these set of opponents. They're just doing everything by the book. This is a textbook performance.
It feels like it's like playing up against a chess grandmaster. They don't beat you with some crazy combination of moves. They just slowly suffocate you until you fall to the attrition of their superior play and positioning. And I don't really have much commentary other than, you know, just sit here and enjoy another
really
tutorial.
Is, you know, get the drinks ready, sit back and enjoy some VP. Unless we see Spirit come out with something that catches VP off guard. But we're 21 minutes in, and it really just feels like VP, they've just got Spirit's number. They know what to do. They know what to not do.
Just look at all the sentries placed around the map on high ground. It's like all over. There's what, 10 active on the map right now? And how does SF find a way into this game? Look at the Legion Commander's items. Yeah, he has a blink, but it's completely naked. No dual damage. And FNG, poor FNG, sitting at a measly 368 net worth. Yeah. That's rough.
Just a mango and a TP for the boy. Jump in. Get themselves the kill onto Hester Joe. FNG will throw out an Ice Blast, but it's not going to do anything in return, and Ramses will just chase down the Ice Cone and take FNG as well. We're 12-0. VP, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, what better way, really, to have them just reintroduce themselves with the same old roster that we saw last season. This is the first game, as we're saying, this season where they're playing as the full 5-man, and VP's back. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, they may have had a bit of a period where, well, Pasha took a break. They're back to business. Straight away in this game 1 against Team Spirit.
It really does feel like they're just men at work. They're just farming money, pretty much like they did for for a period last year. I think they won 3 straight majors, if I'm not mistaken.
At least.
Took home like
we had so many last year, I can't remember.
Took home like a cool
more
$1.5 million
yeah.
in about like 20-something days at a point. Not 20-something days, like 2 months. So.
Pasha. Very confident, just getting in and getting some information, spotting out Hester Joe and FNG waiting by the side. And all the time, of course, whilst this pressure's been put on, all the space in the world's there for no one. He's just been going around his jungle, getting the farm. He knows that there's no way that Spirit can invade their half of the map at the moment, as you said already, with the sentry placement everywhere. You cannot make these moves really as 9. 9 does have the BKB, so he's got a bit of survivability. Oh, they found an opening. Team Spirit, they've got themselves on the board. They found solo. They found a duel.
They did?
They've managed to find a bit of a crack in the team of VP, and they get themselves a kill.
Just looking around the map, though. Posh, in the meantime, was just shoving bottom. Creeps coming into the tier 3 now. So much pressure and power influence. Meantime, Morphling's about to finish his own Lincoln. You already have it up on the Weaver. They know the ult is down. I'd look to see them go for Roche pretty soon, and they will. Don't think you can really stop this if you're Spirit. It's so hard to get Venomancer in a position to contest this. And once again, you just aren't a threat to the Morph or the Weaver, and that's the big problem with the Spirit draft, is they just don't have the reach or the disable to be able to deal with these cores.
And a DD rune as well. And no one can grab and get in. Let's see, Spirit. They're heading over with this smoke play. We'll see if they can get themselves into the pit. Or if VP can just quickly find the fight. No one just takes down the AA before he gets any sort of kills. No one turns himself into the SF, turns himself back. The Chain Frost bouncing around, but the Winter's Curse is there, so they're not actually taking any damage from it at the moment. Doesn't look like it matters though, as the second's been beat down. No one going up against 9. 9 tries with the Requiem, but he's an SF. BKB's not there, so he gets bursted immediately. Spirit bullied away from the pit. VP can head straight back in to finish off Roshan.
And you didn't even get a spell cast from the Venomancer in that engagement. And that's the issue with the hero.
Neither the Veno or the AA. Both heroes were just out of it straight away.
You're a waddler. You don't really have any method of getting into a team fight. You kind of want people to go to you or to have enough time to set up a fortified bunker that the enemy squad eventually has to try and invade and take from you. But otherwise, you're just doing the side shuffle somewhat closer to the fight. It starts going badly and you waddle away. Or slither away, in the case of Venomancer. And yeah, well, you got to circle it. FNG moving up in the world, man.
Oh my god. +2 to all attributes. Yeah.
You know,
not bad. It's a good value item.
Yeah, you ask any financial advisor. Maybe you can only contribute $5 to your 401k, but you know what? That's a start. Get it going.
Absolutely. I don't know what that is. It's probably some NA. Some Ponzi scheme or something, I don't know.
That's Social Security, but it's close. Yeah, I mean, another day at work, really? I'm trying to see, how do you feel about the foliage in Dota 2? What kind of trees are those?
I don't like how the trees, when you go into cinematic view, they mystically grow. You know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at the moment, these trees are like the same height as the hero, but then when you go into when you inspect, suddenly the trees are towering above. It's very, you know, it breaks my immersion.
No, they're tall. Look, you can see the trees.
They're
like,
definitely,
taller than no one.
They're definitely not as tall as when it looks when you look at it from the different angle. Like they absolutely, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know exactly what you mean. It's always really frustrating.
Oh! He dead. Ice Blast comes out, not going to do anything.
It's great. The change in the angle of a photograph can really influence the size, the object you're taking photos of.
You sound like a man that's had experience in that and has managed to find the...
Well, photography is a hobby of mine. I really enjoy bird watching.
Bird watching?
Bird watching.
As in the animals? Or?
What other kind of birds would they be?
I don't know. You tell me.
Some sort of British slang I'm unaware of? Oh.
Look at this. I mean, that wasn't actually showing the view. I mean, but they're pushing the base. VP. Literally. The sort of the...
Yeah.
What's that word when you say... The manifestation. The manifestation of Monkaress. That's what this lineup is.
Yeah.
It's just, what do you do? They're just going to turn up and they're just going to take your game. They're going to take your game. They'll take your family. Take your kids. Take your money. They'll take everything. There's no mercy here from VP.
None at all.
Not at all.
There's so few teams in Dota that have 5 players all from the same region, and I think the two embody their specific cultures so well. VP, just like that well-oiled machine, right? I mean, no nonsense.
No.
Just
they don't mess around. Oh, I really want to sort of I mean, the thing is, you know, this is the great thing about VP. Like, we could sort of picture them as, you know, sitting there very seriously, but you know they're not. You know, Ramses is sat there with his feet up on the table having a giggle. You know, no one's sort of chuckling to himself every time one of, you know, when Solo died, I bet he thought that was hilarious. You can imagine, you know, no one was probably having a right giggle at that. But the rest of the team is rolling along. Another kill. FNG, the snow cone's out. They've got the TP cancel with the Winter's Curse as they come. Ready to surround Hester Joe and enjoy. And another kill. A kiss is sent out from Pasha.
He tried to get the kill steal for Pasha by he making sure no one was healed and couldn't attack. That'll probably be pretty close to the end of this game coming up soon. They're just too far ahead. And you can see they just negated the Venomancer's effect by just playing around the map very well. The snowballers on Spear weren't able to get any momentum. And then all of a sudden, the acceleration from VP's cores takes them too far ahead.
Oh, SF, he's trying to get in there. He's getting stunned. He's got the BKB. He's going to head straight away. Look towards no one, but no one's in. Takes down Biver. They do get a nice Requiem out, but no one still with strength to shift into. Will survive. Ramses commits with the BKB, looking to finish off 9. Can he get it? Dive for it, sir. Dive for it. He's got time lapse, can't dive far enough. As now Ramses might be in a bit of trouble. Sky just punching into him. No, just kidding. He's got Shikuchi back up. He's gone. No one. He has still got that Aegis for 20 seconds. He'll let it pop. It's out of there.
Pasha ready to go back in.
And straight in he does. On top of Skyder. Skyder will not be saved by Hester Joe's heal. 9. Can he look for the big plays? Here we go. One more. Oh, no. Off the mark, the third raise as 9 will not find the kill. 22-1, coming up to a 20,000 goal lead. Hester Joe. Oh, he's got the duel. Can he win it? Oh, yes, he can. Doubling his duel damage. Hester Joe finds Roger. So now at least Solo can't feel bad for being the only one dying. Both supports have died. Now they're just doing their job, you know. VP's like, guys, we got to make it look like we're at least a little bit human here. We've got to at least die once on the supports. That's what all the other teams do, right? They feed with the supports. But VP, you're not getting past us. There's something crazy going on. I don't know if these kids are robots or if they've managed to genetically sort of inject themselves with all the answers and solutions to playing Dota 2, but this is, you know, this is pretty ungodly. This is crazy. 22-2, 21k lead. Spirit, they're still holding on. They're not to be phased by the power that is VP. But VP, they're coming for you, boys and girls. They're coming for you.
I don't know if that's even such a scary prospect. You see those new Gillette ads featuring VP? They're looking good.
They are
fresh
looking
cut.
good. I mean, they're a good-looking bunch of boys. You know, when they sort of did the insides and programmed, you know, all the bits of these bodies, they were like, well, we'll at least make the machines look beautiful. And they did.
Makes sense.
VP. And such a clean performance. It's, you know, it's scary. I'm telling you, it's scary.
That's the thing about watching them play last season, right? Graphs look a lot like the one that just showed up on screen.
Yeah.
There's no peaks, no mountains or valleys and dips. It's
And there
just
we go. Oh, FNG runs, sir, but he can't. The Winter's Curse. He's dead. Skyter. Oh, with the counterplay, the Gale. The slow is out.
Oh, that was so cool. The Morph took the Wyvern's ability to attack him so far away.
Oh, Ramses is going in. He's looking at the IO. 9. He goes for a Requiem. It's just a little less than a sonnet, really. As the music was not music to the ears of Spirit. VP. Another kill. Another play. Another smooth and flawless cut to the jugular.
Just the little
Spirit.
things. Ramsey's going for the Wisp, diving, making sure to get his ult off a little bit early, then backing away. It's as if there's just one player in charge of these 5 humans, making them act as marionettes to ensure they're always on the same page. They're going to go straight for this second Rax. BKB still active on the Morph, ready if he needs it.
It's been a tough game for Spirit, but I do put they're holding on. You know, I feel like, you know how you sort of get these games where, you know, you get absolutely beat down and you're like, well, at least you learn something. I feel like maybe Spirit, this is probably a joyous time for them to get to experience being beaten down by VP like this. I'd love to.
Losing,
you know, I'd love to be beaten down by VP like this. You know, it's a beautiful thing to happen, and you can only learn from it.
Yeah, losing's great. You know, I have a lot of experience with losing, and I
mean,
gotta say, it's way better than winning. Winning's for losers.
I don't think that works. Because surely winning's for the winners.
Well, yeah, but obviously losing is preferred.
That's true.
You can't grow character if all you do is succeed all the time.
He's got 2 circlets now as well. FNG.
Ooh. And boots. Can't forget the boots.
Doubling his +2 attributes.
That's twice as much.
There's a giveaway, Kyle. There's a giveaway. I don't know what we're giving away, but it's probably amazing. I hear we're giving away Vlad's personal alcohol collection.
I hear that.
Actually, no, it's Borjomi. Vlad's Borjomi. There we go.
Weren't you talking
Dropping
backstage?
a sponsor.
You were talking backstage about how the next chat giveaway you'd be adding something of your own to the pool of prizes.
You can win my finger.
Which one?
You find out when it appears in the post.
Are you gonna wash it first?
No.
Oof, that's gross.
It's going to come attached to my body. Skyder. Oh, he's dead. Oh, no, the heals. Nearly saves him, but it's not enough. There's a Winter's Curse on the side. FNG's gone. Hester Joe. I mean, he really should just go for the duel here, you know, just sort of go all in. Not going to get the chance. It's a triple kill for no one. Oh, he's buying back. He's preparing to give no one the chance for a double rampage. I like this. No one. Is he going to turn? Another buyback. This is setting no one up for the triple rampage. I'm telling you. They go back in. No one goes forward. Oh, Pasha's going to break it up. He gets the killing spree as Pasha will take the kill there. Oh, he's got the duel. But the cold embrace. You can't fight an icicle. Trust me. I've tried. It's Pasha. He'll get away. FNG's dead. No one's now beyond godlike. Someone killed him. I think they need to really adhere to the advice that Gaben is giving us. Someone needs to kill him. He's literally unstoppable. He's just killed someone else. And they're probably going to kill this guy as well. As Roger will survive. 9. Shadow Fiend. Coming through and looking for the kill, but he's not going to get it. The Death Requiem nearly kills Ramses. It's not enough. They'll call GG. I mean, it's 30-2. 35 minutes in 30k lead. I think that's enough. I think that's enough.
We can call.
Ladies and gentlemen, Virtus Pro are back. They're absolutely back. This is Virtus Pro. This is Virtus Pro in their prime, straight away, back together as the full five. And flawless stuff.
Not much to say about that one. Really excellent game to watch. Not the most interesting, close.
No, it
matchup,
was.
But
It was, as I said, it was sort of like an intro to what we can expect to see from Virtus Pro again this season. You know, you sort of add some sort of theme music in there, and that's the welcome with Virtus Pro. You know, as well, we'll see what happens. It's a best of 3, which I don't know if that's good or bad for Spirit. We'll see. I mean, it gives them an extra chance, but it also means that this could happen against them. But as I say, hey, it's an experience.
hey, you gotta, you know, there's no such thing as a quitter.
No.
You gotta keep trying, and maybe they'll catch a miracle. You know, there was a miracle on ice going back all the way to, I think it was 1980, 84, something like that. Maybe there'll be one in Dota 2.
What is that?
Maincast on Brawl. The miracle on ice. How do you not know what that is?
No, I have
USA beat them.
Oh, it's another American
Get this guy
reference. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to send you back to the panel. Don't go anywhere, because there is another game of Virtus Pro versus Spirit with myself and Carl. We'll see you soon. See you in a bit.
Place your bets at gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at gg.bet.
In case there was any doubt in who's the best team in the CIS region, I think Virtus Pro kind of made everybody know that they are here and they are back and they are still as damn strong as they've ever been. Here with Lizard and Fogged and Gods, and to talk about that game, it was a bit of a one-sided game. But let me start up with saying, Fogged, before we went into the game, you said 2 elusive cores versus a no stun lineup. Game over.
Yeah. I didn't think it was going to actually be like that. I thought they'd actually still lose some support heroes here and there, but they only died 2 times. I think, Roger died once and Solo died once, and that was it. It was super clean. You watch that game, and that's, like, I think Kyle said it too. That's a tutorial of how you play Dota. They literally just did everything perfectly on the side of VP.
And it's not so hard, though, is it? Like, in some games, it's hard to die only twice in a 35-minute game, but in this one, yeah, it's still hard, but you're playing versus a team with no catch.
Yeah,
like
they have Morphling Weaver.
They have one catch that's dual, but it doesn't work versus Wyvern. So it was so simple for Virtus Pro to execute properly.
That Shadow Fiend, I mean, it looked a little bit like he could do something.
This Shadow Fiend was amazing.
No one Shadow Fiend did.
Okay, well, not that Shadow Fiend, but look at the net worth. You know, Veno is able to keep up. Shadow Fiend's able to keep up.
I mean, Shadow Fiend is able to keep up because Wisp is basically always tethering him, giving him region so he can farm, so he can move through the jungle. But at the same time, your A has no boats. Minute 24.
Yeah, he was the saddest ancient apparition that I've seen in a long time.
I did learn something actually from this game though. I learned you don't get the souls as Morphling if you kill people when you're Shadow Fiend. So that was kind of cool. I got that knowledge from this one.
You don't get the souls.
You do not get the souls if you kill them when you're Shadow Fiend.
But that makes
as Morphling, which is kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I think you maybe get it as the Shadow Fiend, but then when you shift back, it's gone, I guess.
I learned that you need stuns to win Dotes. Every now and then.
They definitely needed to pick more lockdown.
I feel like I'm just a bit disappointed in so many of the drafts we've seen today and even yesterday, because it's not like there's these 10th pick surprises. It's these first 2 picks that are beating people. In the Na'Vi Secret Series, there was a first pick Drow in Game 1. Didn't get countered by anything. In Game 2, it was a first 2 Phoenix. Didn't get countered. And then here, first 2 pick Morphling. No stuns. No way of dealing with it properly. Ice Blast, I guess, was the idea. So they did recognize it, but they didn't really counter it. And it wasn't a last pick.
Could this be the nerves, perhaps? Like, FNG is a solid drafter. He drafted for Virtus Pro for such a long time. He's a good captain. And
he doesn't get nervous.
Right?
Does he?
I guess not. I mean, I hope not. He's on a such top level.
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing versus...
But we are playing versus your ex team and the best team.
It's like one of the best teams in the... best teams in the world and best drafter as well. Solo is, in my opinion, I think actually I have Solo as like my top five position players. He's absolutely amazing in what he does with his wards. Like even in this game, you know, we're talking about how they had a little bit of ease, sure, to be able to press on their advantage. But did you see the sentry wards? Like Kyle said it too. They see Shadowblade on SF, and then the whole map is lit up with sentry, so he can't even make plays around the map.
Yeah, he was really struggling, and that one place at the shrine near the ancients when he almost caught Morphling, like he fails that and then he dies instantly after. So unfortunate.
Picture perfect. Look at that. 3-0-19, 3-1-16, 12-0-7. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful by VP.
Too many zeros under that score, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, Solo had so much fun in that game too. It looked like he was literally just chain frosting creep waves.
I
the whole
think
game.
it's the hair. FNG's hair. He's growing it back. Like he needs the full.
He needs the full hair.
It's
it's his strength.
Yeah. Yeah.
He needs to reach his final form. Once the hair is huge, like he's gonna just be dominating.
That was him at his peak. Was when he had the long hair. Yeah.
True.
I think we're seeing though why Legion Commander isn't picked too much either though, because this hero they opened with it and it actually didn't do much of anything in this game. I mean, sure he got countered pretty heavily by the other picks, but like.
But that's what you get when you pick him second.
Exactly. Like what if they had? I mean, sure that replacing heroes is very weird like this, but imagine if they had like a Centaur or something, right? Like they just had like a real lockdown, a good team fighter.
And look what VP do. They pick heroes that deal with the opening two picks. They have answers to the IO in the form of the Wyvern. They take advantage of the kind of limited Sable, and they have a counter to the Legion Commander Jewel with their draft as well.
Like Roger and Solo, they were both out pushing the waves at least. As well, like they had the Lich's ulti, which isn't really the perfect way, but I've seen players actually utilize that as an outpush very often now. And Wyvern just Splinter Blast all the time. While the Wisp and the first Wisp can't even be there, he's always tethered to the SF. He's boosting him, giving him movement speed, giving him regions so that he can farm faster. While AA without boots, like yeah, sometimes I remember the times when you could put an AA under a tower and then you go for a play and then you just call him for the ulti, right? But this AA, he can't even be under the tower. Like one Weaver dives him and he's gone, like in an instant.
This is standing base. It was definitely a very sad Age of Desperation. Before the series, we talked about the mid matchup and how this is going to be super important. You got 9 versus no one.
He did well.
They ended up in a 2 versus 2.
Yeah, I was about to say I feel disappointed because we got the 2v2. It wasn't the true 1v1, but they matched up pretty evenly, at least as far as the lane went. There was some back and forth trades. SF pressured him at times, Morphling pressured SF at times. Neither ever really got outplayed and killed, so it was definitely, I think, a pretty even matchup in that sense.
It was just when no one got level 6 or whatever it was, or level 8, when he used the morph and then got that like big double kill because the Shadow raises. But I think that's the nature of the matchup, right? I think Morphling, as it progresses, he's already going to win versus the Shadow Fiend for the most part, and then he gets some help. Yeah.
Wisp SF is still strong though. That's not an easy combo to play against. Like they can run you down. What Wisp brings to that lane is basically the slow from the balls, and the Wisp Tether basically lets SF get on top of you so that he can combo the raises properly. However, versus Morph, it's kind of more difficult as he just...
Didn't they have the AA there?
They had the AA at the start.
Okay, then the IO came in afterwards.
And I think they rotated the IO.
IO is the one that died, right, when he turned into
when he turned into the raises, Yeah,
it was a tough game. And surely Spirit is going to have stock right now, and they know that they have the, draft didn't work out. They can fix that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like IO is kind of a trap right now, too. Right? Like we were talking about the Legion Commander, but IO just feels like he's losing a lot.
I mean, he came back into the meta with the gyro, right? But he was out. No one was picking him.
Yep.
He was being banned a lot.
He was being banned.
Yeah. But he wasn't being picked sometimes as well.
He was being banned against the teams that
had good,
just use him so well.
That had really good Wisp players.
Yeah.
You ban it versus Alliance all the time, teams like that, right?
Exactly. Doesn't matter if it's in the meta or not, you'll ban it against them.
I mean, some teams like Alliance, they aren't in the meta at all. Like they're still playing Earth Spirit. Like they're playing Whisper Spirit Lone Druid on Koikwa.
I mean, that's definitely bizarre.
Yeah. And they're winning actually.
It's working.
Yeah.
So that's good. So what are we thinking for a second game? Was this the type of game where you're looking at it and it's like, okay, you know what? It's Spirit versus Virtus Pro. There's a tier gap here, and it's just doesn't matter what the draft is. Virtus Pro's because they won the draft, but they were goofing around. They used the Lich ulti on Quick Waves. They were basically just having fun.
I mean,
They were spamming their, you know, their taunts
Yeah,
and
they
their
were having a good
tips
time.
and all that.
but that's them always. Though.
Exactly.
They
Sure,
always play like
yes,
that. They
okay.
just enjoy. They just enjoy themselves so much. I think that's why they're able to stay together on this high level because they enjoy playing with each other.
Yep.
I mean, that's
And
important.
they just felt they looked so comfortable, like because
Yeah.
of those chain frosts, right? I'm sure they were like, we have Morphling Weaver, and there's actually just nothing to kill these two guys. Like if we both get Lincolns, we counter the only thing that they do have which is the duel, which wasn't really going to happen anyway. And
And even if it happens, there's the Cold Embrace, right? But I don't think that Team Spirit cannot take a game off of them.
Okay.
I think there is a level, like they are a bit better, but they're not that much better that we can say that Team Spirit cannot win. Right?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So what do they need to do?
Draft better.
yeah, just
Pick some stuns.
It comes back to the
I
draft.
I mean, it's
sounds
what it is. Like
ease
for
of
the last 2
execution
days, yeah.
for me, like ease of execution. I feel like we come back to that a lot, but that draft looks super difficult. It's like the stars need to align for this draft to work with the Legion Commander, a Veno versus these elusive cores. Like,
I don't get that Veno pick, man.
Yeah.
Every game with Venomancer, like he's supposed to create space, and he's just planting those little snakes around the shrine and farming the safest place on the map for his team. That's what he was doing, like for 5 minutes.
If you go back to like when EG were picking for Arteezy, he was like always just pressuring a lane super deep, putting himself in the most dangerous place on
Exactly.
the map.
Even if you die, at least they go there. They commit to you. They have to invest in killing you. But here, like he's just taking space, and then what does he get? A blink? Like whatever item he gets, it's irrelevant.
We do have a draft.
All
right.
right, that's a
So
difference. I think VP
that's
is
a
doing
massive
some,
difference,
some
actually.
weird bans right off the bat. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
Earth Spirit and Centaur? What?
All right. So the Centaur may be. I mean, it's picked a lot now versus the Weaver as well.
the Centaur I get.
But the Earth Spirit, yeah.
Yeah, their spirit's a little bit weird, but
I don't get that one either. What's up?
Fiverr has played 1 or 2 games of it that I've seen for Spirit, but I mean, last game they banned the Zeus in the first 3 too. So I think it's kind of
That
is
is true.
targeted bans like on some signature heroes, but it's heroes that aren't like first 2 meta heroes.
Maybe they have an all ban challenge now
Yeah, gotta get through everything.
Maybe.
for all the bans.
Ooh, okay. So now we got something more spicy. This already looks
Yeah,
lot better for Spirit.
they actually drafted this once again, like once before, and like bounty plus tinies. I love it because your lanes might struggle a little bit because bounty is rotating around, but tiny is strong on the lane, right? So it won't be that bad. And later on, if the bounty is scouting, tiny can just, if he has vision, he can jump you, blow you up. So
You also feel like you can get away more with the bounty when you see Shaker, because that's not a hero that's going to like, it's not going to pose these dual lane threats against you. So bounty is suddenly a lot more forgiving because bounty is a very weak laner himself.
actually, Earth Spirit was one of the better counters to bounty. Well, not a true counter, but basically what happens is bounty goes for a harass on the lane. You're just hiding with the Earth Spirit with the dust. As soon as he starts hitting your core, you roll on him, and if he uses like Shadow Walk to try and get away, you dust him. He's even slower. It's an easy kill. So that Shaker PL looks strong as well.
Ooh, the PL got through, huh? I was getting I got banned a lot more today than I thought it would in the opener. So it was first 3 banned several times.
It's mostly banned because of the draw as well, right? I mean, not only because of the draw, but it is banned a lot when the draws are picked.
I like the Undying ban as well from Spirit. I think playing Tiny versus Undying is really tough. You do your combo, and then there's Tombstone's down, and you're slowed, and you can't really do anything inside the fight anymore.
The Phoenix is true, but I mean, I don't like it that much. Perhaps for Spirit, if they do get another really strong core. But for Virtus Pro, like if you take the Phoenix, the problem that I see with Phoenix is the laning stage, right? He's not really strong there.
And then let's say Bane to me is the hero that stands out. As
Bane
support
is
because
completely different.
both teams with a Phoenix, like Phoenix Shaker or Phoenix Bounty, you've got really weak supports.
It's right.
Get the strong laning supports. Bane, the big one that stands out. Undying, the other one that's banned. So VP, a bit more limited. We'll see what Solo wants to get his hands on instead.
Why do you ban out of Magnus?
I was just thinking that too. I'm like,
I mean, you do get Empower versus PL, I suppose.
No,
That's
but it's the other team that banned it out.
Yeah.
And if
Wait,
you
right.
give Empower to the PL, you just give away who's the real one.
Yeah, I think it's one of those heroes that Pasha really likes to play a lot. We've seen a lot of these Magnus dual lanes in the offlane as well, although with a Shaker, that's not the scariest of lanes.
Could it not be Pasha
It was-
Shaker, though?
It was picked versus Brood as well.
Could be.
by the way. They picked Magnus versus Brood quite a few times, but then you still have to ban the Kunkka at least.
They've already got the tiny.
Yeah, they have the tiny.
that
So
side.
if they don't ban the Brood and you ban the Kunkka, you might go for the Brood.
Oh my! Whoa! Snap picks. They were. They knew they wanted Storm immediately.
And they knew they wanted Terrorblade as well.
Yeah.
TBPL games. Hopefully they have some high-end PCs.
We didn't see this matchup in quite a long while, right? Terrorblade versus PL, at least in this tournament, not even once, I think. Terrorblade was picked a lot, but PL, he didn't have luck. He was banned all the time.
It goes both. It's not like a favorite either way, really, is it?
It used to be more TB favored, but now you can like get rid of the
Manta,
whatever,
right?
reflection or whatever. So
Yeah, that was so strong.
it was so
TV
ridiculous.
was so overpowered
just-
with that.
You just built army. Like it was just
Yeah.
like this. Yeah, it was just this PL army. And
So
there's
what's
Dazzle
their
too,
plan?
High armor.
They picked so fast. What does both of their lineups supposed to do?
There's a combo with Dazzle and PL, which I like, kinda. On the lane, at least, you have the illusions and heal bomb. I mean, the Dazzle, the way it's played right now with the poison touch max and then the heal without the grave on the lane is really strong. But the plan is we have some stuns now, we have some lockdown, we have the Terrorblade to push, and we're just gonna go around him, around the towers, try to get pickoffs if anyone tries to defend. For Spirit, at least.
Still want them to have a little more disable. I mean, Tiny is their reliable one, right? The reliable stun. Banes is much harder to get off versus PL and versus Storm. I still feel like they have to address the illusions.
Let's start that Sven. Let's go.
I really think Spirits could take this, actually. If they have a decent laning stage, if that bounty does fare well, like if he maybe finds a courier or two, slows Virtus Pro down, if Tiny gets that early Blink Dagger.
But which one of Spirit lanes
Enigma.
is gonna be solo lane then? If Bounty's gonna roam?
I think he's probably going to stick with the Tiny a bit, though,
He'll
right?
probably pull some waves from behind
for
tower.
a bit you
Yeah.
stick and then you... I still think that Bounty has to roam a bit. Like, you help the lane a little and then you start roaming. You can't just...
Most of these bounty shakers are just grabbing that second lane, second wave of creeps, pulling it back, and then roaming after securing that lane a bit.
What yeah.
What are you gonna see?
Enigma. So
Enigma.
now they've got a
They do
lot-
have
good amount of
Bane.
team fight on
Yeah.
VP.
They've got massive team fight.
Yeah.
It's probably a mid last pick, unless I'm gonna send Tiny against Storm.
I guess if you're that Enigma, you're going for Dominator, right? Like, you need to
Yeah.
create some space.
Yeah, I think so.
Like the other heroes, like you need your Storm to have a good game. If he doesn't, he has to recover. And who's gonna carry you through that stage after the laning, right? So
Two elusive cores again on VP.
Ember, I
and
like this a
Spirit,
lot.
They pick one
Ooh.
for themselves.
There's a
Okay.
PL pseudo answer
Yeah.
as well as an answer to the Storm with the root. This
it's
is
really good.
good
I
pick
like
for
that
them.
pick. Yeah, I do like that
Yeah.
pick. And with Bounty too, you can actually put pressure onto the Storm Spirit in the lane.
This is a way better draft on Spirit, but I think still a pretty even draft.
I would, yeah. I mean, I actually might. I don't know.
I'd lean Spirit. I'd lean Spirit.
If you didn't know who was playing which lineup,
I think
Which draft would you favor?
I think I favor Spirit a bit.
They don't have the great answer to the Enigma black hole. Like grip is there, but like you
Yeah.
can't always hold on to that. Wait for the black hole.
They should have good information though. The bounties, like the bounty information, is the big one that I'm looking at, where he can like always be able to see where everybody, like the Dazzle's positioned in a team fight. Tiny can just go in, blow him up, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I really like the bounty hunter to be honest.
If the
with
bounty
Spirit.
hunter has a good game, because what this Enigma pick is also enabling Virtus Pro to do is not really stick their position 4 there. As Enigma, like what you have to do, you just have to deny your creeps and keep the equilibrium closer to your tower, and that kind of leaves Shaker able to just rotate and do whatever he wants to.
Yeah,
he
you could try lane.
Yeah, you
gank
can
mid.
try lane, you can gank mid, you can rotate to an Enigma every now and then, but you don't have to, right? He's not forced to be there. While on the other hand, you have the Tiny. Like he might suffer a little bit versus PL and Dazzle. So
Yeah.
so a lot more even game.
Yeah,
than that first
definitely
one.
from the drafting at least.
From the drafting. I mean, we'll see at least a bit more of a test for Virtus Pro. See if they can either close it out with a 2-0 or if Team Spirit can force out that third game in the series. It is over to Kyle and Odie Pixel.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yes, game 2 now. Virtus Pro versus Team Spirit ready to begin. We've seen the two lineups. We've heard from the panel. Certainly with a bit more hope for Team Spirit this time round. The draft's looking a little more even. It makes a lot more sense for Spirit what they have in this sort of current meta. There's no Legion Commanders or so these crazy off-the-wall picks. They've got a Tiny. They've got an Ember Spirit finisher. It all looks nice and well-rounded.
They have stuns. A lot of them.
Yeah.
Interrupts, catch, reach specifically. I think this is a dream Ember game. And if he goes off, they're going to take it. Because when you play against an Enigma, a Storm, a PL, like Ember's got great matchups against all these heroes. Specifically Ember and Shaker. Because while, yeah, you can lock down the Ember, you can take them out. You have the ability to get into the back lines, wreak havoc, and lock those heroes in place so that your strong Terrorblade, Bounty Hunter, etc. can find the kills. And I love Bounty when you pair it with a hero with insane reach like Ember Spirit.
Absolutely. That sort of global presence and sort of pressure that's always going to be there that VP do have to worry about. If that Bounty gets a good few levels to begin with. We'll see how it goes down. As Five already with his eyes on Ramses and Solo around the rune spot. We'll see if he's able to go for a little bit of a bounty rune snipe. Kick this one off.
The only thing they lack is team fight. So Spirit needs to like get ahead, stay ahead, abuse their advantage. This could be rough. Oh, they went for opposite targets.
Well, they did. They sort of split there. Now VP's going to be able to hit back. The Spirit Lance slows out onto Hester Joe. They do want to make sure at the same time they keep control of that room, but they'll be very happy getting first blood for the PL as Ramses Willie claims it. First blood for him. Back to the rune as well. Will Biver be able to steal it? He will, so Biver does get the bounty rune steal. In fact, Spirit as well will take the 2 runes up top. So 3 runes going the way of Spirit, but VP did get first blood there for Ramses PL.
Yep. Really well played. Thing Tiny probably forgot to do is that he has 0 armor. That Dazzle Poison touch, of course, doing physical damage, reapplied every time he's attacked under the duration. And now the Green Storm in the mid lane against the Ember Spirit. This used to be a very Storm-favored matchup, more even from what I've seen, but I think that a good Storm still kind of crushes Ember.
And no one is certainly one of the players that comes up when you look up good Storm in the dictionary. So we'll see how well indeed no one can play this matchup.
Like this play from Roger here. You can't pull the first wave anymore, of course, but this is so smart. You don't see many people do this, but he's blocking the easy camp with the Archer because there's not going to be a creep wave for a bit. You'd probably want to pull that on the 115 mark if you're this dire lineup, but won't be able to, and he's going to pull it around in front of the tower, ensuring his Enigma has excellent lane control for the next 2 or 3 waves, and this is all during the duration of Skitter's meta, which is going to then squander the rest of it.
We'll see Biver. Solo's a little low, but he's got the heal. Solo is not a target that Biver can go for at the moment. Still just a level 1, of course, on the bounty in these early days at the bottom lane.
Good Dazzle play too. Your heal always procs on yourself, so there's no reason not to just aggro heal no matter what. It's not about radius or range, rather. You just heal yourself at all times. So never want to see you heal yourself if you're a Dazzle.
I'm looking at that middle lane, Carl. It's 11 for 3 on Mr. No One, and he nearly kills 9 as well, as 9 is 4 for 0. Quite the difference already in this mid lane between the 1v1.
Yep, and that's just the Ember's lack of base armor. Your Flame Guard isn't strong enough until level 3 to survive an overload, and it's just a really hard matchup for Ember because Storm also, of course, being a ranged hero, you can harass and play very aggressively. He got double waved initially, and I mean, No One is just an excellent laner and one of the best in the world, if not the best.
Bottom lane, Biver going for a bit of harassment onto Ramses, but Ramses will be fine still, of course, as that Dazzle sitting ready to help him if need be. Top lane, what are we seeing from Pasha? Pasha 4 for 7. He's got a fair few denies, of course, being the Enigma that he is. But CS-wise, Skyder 7 for 4. So yeah, Skyder's definitely suffering in farm because of the pressure of these two, Pasha and Roger, constantly hunting him down. FNG trying his best to trade hits back and farm some of these Eidolons, get himself a bit of extra money, but he takes a lot of damage for the attempts that he makes as Roger gets up close and personal to the Bane.
Look at the CS for this TB, 7 and 5. Yeah. He's got a double wave coming into him, but 2 of those are Eidolons, and you are not feeling good in this sort of scenario. And this is exactly what you want of your VP. Once again, they're trying to...
Oh.
Whoa!
Whoa! Damn!
The aggressive tip as well.
I mean, he could give that out. 9 solo killing No One.
9? I give him a 10 out of 10 for that.
That is pretty damn impressive. At the same time, down bottom, Solo will tick down ahead to Joe. But that solo kill there for 9, that's going to give him a lot of confidence. As no one must have just overstepped the mark there, making a rare mistake.
Yep, this is what you want. You slow down the TB a bit. Until that point, Storm was winning mid, but Ember is really the story of this game. Ember gets the TB to a point where he can secure the game. So Skitter's going to have to try and accelerate a bit faster. Nine's going to want to get involved once he's level 6, preferably with Bounty coming to his lane first. But so far, Biver not really finding a foothold in the game, just helping out down bottom. But as we just saw, the Tiny did go down. Ramsey is essentially free farming in that bottom lane. Invis now on the Ember Spirit, though. Could be potential to set up a kill here on the Storm.
Quick pause from Ramses. Yeah, we'll see what Nine could do, because got that first kill onto no one, but yeah, still farm very much favoring the Storm Spirit in this mid lane matchup.
It could go either way. Man, this Time's taking so much pressure. I really dislike the boots pickup. I think you want to grab stats, maybe even a ring of protection when you're playing against this heavy physical damage harass as a 0 armor hero.
Yeah, he's mounting to any sort of attempt that Ramses and Solo make.
Yeah.
Takes a huge chunk of his HP every time that he gets gone upon. And not a lot that he can do to stop them at the moment. Just having to sort of sit back, soak up experience.
It is a Dazzle PL lane. This is
it's
effectively
a very strong lane,
unlosable as a lane combo.
Prepare for a lesson.
Mid lane, Ember playing aggressive on the Storm, but no one should be able to finish up level 6 pretty soon. Biver going to be a bit late to this rune. Ramsey's doing a good job. Secures the top. Biver takes the bottom, and they get both runes in the top area of the map as well.
It's just going to be another sort of slow opening to a game for a couple, the couple of cores of Spirit. No, definitely not as slow as last game. They do still have absolute potential to make sort of these movements and plays out of the laning stage. But it's going to be tricky to do, seeing that what we saw from VP in terms of performance and calls and plays that they made in game 1. At least this time, Spirit, they have managed to sort of come out of these early 5 minutes in a pretty decent shape.
6-minute rune coming up soon. Bounty's going to check top. Ember's going to run straight for the bottom rune. Well played. He's going to beat Storm there. Really good movement from Biver. Places those 2 great wards on high grounds as well. Not only is that going to secure a bit of map control, but it's very effective at courier hunting, which is his next task here. Worth about 1.7 hero kills at the moment. There's no reason to do anything other than hunt that courier if you're a bounty here.
Now we'll see if he gets away with it. It's hovering between that tier 1 and tier 2 tower in the mid lane at the moment. Biver may also set up if they're able to dive in onto the Storm. Obviously going to be a lot harder now. No one. He's got that level 6, so not quite as easy for 9 to outplay him as he did do earlier in this 1v1 matchup.
Still even though, kills aren't so bad when you're out of mana, especially on a hero like Storm. So yeah, he did go down. Will he get this last hit? I think he will. No. Oh, no.
I didn't go for it with a remnant there. Might have had it without extra bit of magical burst.
It's funny, one of the few things that hasn't been changed as far as RNG goes is towers. They still do, is it 90 to 110 or 110 to 130? I don't remember, but there's a lot of variance to the attack.
There is, yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I think it is the larger difference, as it really can.
It's just so annoying that sometimes you can kill it. Sometimes catapults die in 3 tower hits. Sometimes they need 1 hit to soften them up and you get the last hit. And sometimes they don't need a hit and you can get the last hit. You just gotta hope.
Mid lane, no one. Trying to go in for the kill here, and he's got it. Oh!
So close.
Yeah, looked like he nearly had that with a sleight of fist dodge, but I believe because what doesn't destroy the projectile still sort of chased him around it and hit him afterwards.
It can destroy, but it's really difficult to do it on just the one auto attack on one target.
It's got to be as if you sort of move into the projectile whilst you're slighting, then it will disappear. Well, Biver did try and get the cheeky kill onto no one on his way back to base, but not quite enough damage on that bounty into top lane. Now we're seeing Roger and Pasha do still pretty well, but Skyder, he's got himself ahead of Pasha. But it's still obviously the big difference between Skyter and Ramsey's 1k at the moment between the two carries on both sides.
He's going to get ult in the face here. He's going to get ult in the face. Byron doesn't have a shuriken.
See? Yeah, there we have it. Easy black hole. They'll take it. As you said, they knew Byver doesn't have that point available.
And that's a huge kill as well, and this is the strength. You know, last game they abused the Lich to slow down the Shadow Fiend. This time is the Enigma up in the top lane against the Terrorblade. Once again, just denying Spirit their win conditions free game. And I really like the way they're utilizing this. And he is going to go for the Helm of the Dominator, and Enigma's going to hit a timing. Like, yeah, he might be a little bit behind Terrorblade, but he's going to utilize that gold so much better.
Yeah, which is I mean, Hester Joe obviously on the Tiny on the other side on the off lane. He certainly should have the chance to have a much bigger impact than he did with his Legion commanders. He's a Tiny. This hero is fantastic.
Yeah,
but
is it though?
In comparison to Legion Commander,
true.
Yeah, you can't argue with that. Still, obviously not. We'll see what Hester Joe can achieve. At the moment, he's still receiving a lot of pressure. This PL dazzle, pulling him a fair bit. Byver not quite having the damage there for the courier.
Yep.
As they're hiding it, making sure that he doesn't get that last touch on it. They'll take it straight down to the bottom tree line.
Bounty Hunter needs 63 damage, I believe, to guarantee a courier kill. He unfortunately only has the 58, so a bit unlucky, but still, that's why you see stats picked up at times.
Yeah, I got one lucky with the roll. What is its damage at the moment? What, 51 to 65? So not quite favoured by the RNG. FNG, well, we have to grab the bounty rune, in fact. A couple there for Spirit, a couple for VP. Now, 9, chasing down Roger. And she gets the Fisher off, but should certainly be dead as 9 closes the gap with a quick slide of Fist Searing Chains. Get himself the kill onto Roger off the back of that rotation. 1,200 gold towards his boots of travel recipe.
Oof, I don't know if I agree with that decision here.
You don't like the bot straight up?
I think you got to be going shreds in this kind of game. You already have a Terrorblade that's going to look to play more passively, you know, scale towards the late game. I think this was the dream game to go the Ana style, treads, Aquila Maelstrom, like get active early, control runes, and scale without being reliant on farming up this very, very expensive Boots of Travel item that also doesn't really give you any damage output, just gives you more movement and flexibility. But if you can't get kills around the map and you're not safe against heroes like Storm, Enigma, Shaker that are eventually going to have those Blink Daggers, I mean, does bots really help you?
Lane 9, talking about the bot spoil getting gone upon. Not quite enough damage on No One. The Flame Guard keeping 9 safe. TP in as well from FNG, and Byver is hanging around. No One won't quite be able to get the kill with the DD. This is, he'll continue to secure farm. Solo actually finding Byver there with the dust. He knew that he was around, and that will set up a kill for No One. Does manage to claim the Bounty Hunter.
So clean. The Fisher immediately, the perfect zip from No One, lands the Remnant, gets the kill. Really well done. And up top, you have Pasha just pressuring the tower. Now just ahead of the Terrorblade, now falling slightly behind. But in the meantime, Ramsey's a totally free game. Yeah, Tiny might be close to the Enigma net worth, but he has not done nearly enough to slow down the PL, especially in comparison to Pasha, who's going to take out the safe lane tower too.
Look at the APM. 608. Oh no, I don't quite know how he achieves that high of a number. He must be clicking furious.
I think that number is not real. I don't know how that
so
APM is
if we do
calculated.
608 in a minute, if we do the maths, that's what? 60 per second.
You ever watch?
60. He does 60 actions per second. That's faster than I believe there are server ticks in the game, right? There's
What?
not what?
60 actions per second? What are you talking about?
He does 608 actions per minute. So that means he does 60 per second. Oh wait. We'll do some maths in a minute here, as FNG and Hester Joe are dead. 10 actions per second. Right? Yeah, that's correct. Final it's 10, he does 10 actions per second. Alright, that's achievable. I can believe that. I mean, look at this APM. Look at it go. That's 608 APM for you right there. Triple kill.
Yeah.
He did that with approximately 357 actions.
Look at the map control VP all of a sudden has. They're hitting 2 tier 2 towers, and the entire team was, for a moment, behind, like, in the enemy third of the map. And Posh is going to escape top. Forces the meta out from Skitter as well. Also, I have watched perspectives of the, like, incredibly talented Korean StarCraft pros, you know, Flash.
Yeah, what kind of APM do those guys
They're
have?
rocking like 400, okay?
You have to get on no one's level.
They're not, no one is at no one's level. It's not achievable.
I believe the stats we have is
Yeah.
608 APM, as we saw.
Oh, and oh, and oh.
I mean, I guess maybe if they count sort of like camera movement as an APM, I mean, you know, if you're clicking and button pressing, it all adds up very quickly.
Oh, they need this kill, but they're just not going to get it. A scan comes out, and that's perfect. In the meantime, bottom lane, Ramsey's still pressuring, and look at the vision control they have in that enemy side of the map. It's so easy to play PL under these sort of circumstances. Effectively playing with map hacks.
Yeah, he's having a brilliant time, Ramses. Oh, Fiend script.
They have Grave.
I mean, they're going for it, but they're not going to get it, I don't think. Or if they do, they're going to lose heroes for us. Rogers just kept alive by the Grave. They're going to zip straight in. No one chasing down the Ember Spirit. One more touch will do it. They get 9. They do end up losing Roger, but it's no one that's coming in with a big fat cleanup. As double kill, give him another one. Ramses will take it with the kill secure. Once again, VP giving us a little bit more of what we saw from them in game 1. No hesitation to make these sort of plays when they see the opportunity. May have given up a few more kills than they did last time round, but it's business once again as this game starts to kick off. 15 minutes, 12-4, 7K lead for Virtus Pro.
They do lose the courier, though.
They lose Solo as well. 9. He's trying to go on him. TPs are coming in. He's got the backup of Pasha. Solo, he can heal himself up. They don't quite have the damage or control to kill the Lonely Dazzle.
I feel like Pasha's got to be one of the most complete players in Dota. There's so few offlaners that can play every style, and he's really excels at the team fight play, more positional based, you know, Crimson Guard
really
pipe
does.
buyers, and he's also an incredible initiator, showing off his prowess with a micro-based hero and Enigma as well. Not many players that can master all 3.
No, he's a good lad, Pasha. Very, very strong player. I mean, they all are, but yeah, Pasha. I mean, he's sort of the quiet one, you know. We've seen, you know, all the other players sort of getting handed out these flashy cars. And Pasha, he's just turning up for work. Another day in the office for Pasha.
Yep. And this is the same scenario where, once again, VP's 2 cores are ahead. They're very elusive, tough to kill. You need to invest heavily and get the jump on them somehow, but you've lost map control, and the 2 supports are often off map. Very easy to back up a core if he were to get into trouble, the Dazzle and the Shaker. Blink on Enigma.
Oh boy. Pasha could find the big ones here as Biver. He's not a survivor. Another pick off for no one now in a monster kill streak with his Storm Spirit. Tier 2 towers being taken as well here by Virtus Pro.
Use Glyph as well. You just go tier 3 here. And once again, look at this graph, man. It's just slow but steady. It's like watching the turtle win a race, except he's got a jetpack on his skateboard.
Don't do that, kids. Peter will come after you. FNG gets the grip. All right. He's got a little too far, no one. He's getting gripped, and with the self-grave Solo, he's not going to save himself. So, hey. Spirits say you can dive into our base, but we will kill you. That's a little too far, boys. VP lose a couple of heroes.
In some ways, it's not worth it, but they get so much damage on the tier 3. Roger was just farming that entire time. That's something we saw on his vintage Sand King back in the day. He would just get active, run around the map for what felt like the first 10 to 15 minutes of the game, and then he just goes off, farms a lane by himself for a few minutes, grabs a blink, and then he's back to getting involved. And immediately Ramses is like, all right, screw you guys, I'm top now. And look at where Spirit's heroes are now placed. Like, everyone suddenly stuck in the base. Just an example of good, not great deaths, but good deaths. They'll be in Valhalla for certain.
Fiber. Oh. He knows. Drops a sentry as well, just in case Bible was moving in the correct direction. Ramses. The Manta style, do you like this sort of option here from Ramses? You know, we see pretty much all the time Diffusal Blade being rushed as the straight heads of Python, but he saw the chance to get a quick Manta and he goes for it as his
Diffusal, when you were able to purge the Flame Guard, it was a bit better in this sort of matchup. I like the Manta because you're playing against Ember who went bots, so they can't kill your illusions right now. And it gives you a purge for the track and for the Ember Chains, which is really the only thing that kills you in this sort of game. And Bane's not going to be able to land a grip on you if you're walking around with 8 illusions at the start of a fight. So I agree with the choice.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, he's in no pressure to sort of be there joining the fights.
Yep.
It's you know, continue with the farm, hit the creeps, play it safe, make sure you don't feed, and you know, you're going to have that Diffusal Blade very soon after it anyway, so the order, not really too much of an issue at all.
Like this too. I think they might be looking to go straight into the bottom and get that tier 3. Going to clear the wave out first. Don't really need to do this, but they have the Arcane Rune on the Storm. They're going to pre-weave, and Roger is coming over with the Blink, but he gets jumped.
They got the Shaker.
No buyback, but they get tier 3.
I do. Tier 3 indeed down. Manta Diffusal on the 19-minute Phantom Lancer Ramses. That's Team Spirit. They're trying to fight this. No one comes in with a counterplay. Zips forward, has the grab. That's going to be 9 dead. They've lost the Ember Spirit. Solo kept alive for now by the Shallow Grave. Does have a heal, but a Brain Sap's there from FNG to finish him off. Solo will buy back Pasha. Still looking for the black hole opportunity. Joe turns, starts to hit the illusions away with the tree. Metamorphosis is up at the moment as well from the Terrorblade. Spirit can't find anything more out of this. They did lose their Ember Spirit there.
Meta down as well, and that's the big issue with Ember in a game like this, where you got the nice kill on no one, but when you're behind and you have bots, you are about as tanky as a wet pinata. And
wouldn't a wet pinata be harder to break?
Well, that's what he's.
Actually, no, it definitely wouldn't. Well, I guess it depends really on the material that the pinata is made out of.
Yeah.
We don't really
I believe it's usually paper mache.
It is, or papier mâché.
Ah.
If you want to pronounce it like a true European. Oh, hey! They're on Ramses. They've got him. They got the kill. That's a big one. That's a lot of money. Going the way of Hester Joe, VP. Can they find anything retain? See Solo already sort of chasing away the rest of them. No one and Pasha will kill off FNG. The Spirit getting in over to the half of the map. Roger is looking for the Fisher chase down. Sets up for the big zip.
And he still has the regen running now too, because he jukes the stun.
Oh, he does. No one keeping the control high, getting the kill. That's a Bloodstone freshly picked up as well, so we'll straight away add another charge onto it. Regen Rune does get cancelled by the Owner's Shadows.
And one of the rare opportunities, I do agree with the Bloodstone first. You don't need an Orchid to land kills. You already have so much disable, and you're ahead. That's the key.
Oh, yeah. He shouldn't die. Unless, as we're seeing, FNG getting some good Fiends grips off. That is pretty much the biggest threat at the moment for VP. If FNG can get those grips off, they can set up for kills when sort of VP are separated. A little too much across the map, but still, as it is, Spirit are going to need to have a lot more of those. They want to get themselves into this game as they're still behind 16-9.
You really could run a clinic on the way VP moves around the map. That is really where they excel.
Private grabs the Illusion Rune. For the pay of his life. Another Bloodstone charge for no one as no one looks to find FNG. Gets the slow. They will take the Nightmare off him there as jump in from Roger with the control. More Bloodstone charges for no one.
They connect so well. They were killing top tower while the Enigma was killing the Shrine. Ramses was bottom, pushes the Ember away, kills a couple creep waves to ensure his tower stays alive. Then he's there to help finish the kill. And now he'll be here to grab the Roche kill. It's just so smooth.
It is. It is. You can't throw these guys sort of off the track. Like, it's very rare. It feels like VP literally have to be having a bad day with one of their players to have a bad game. Like, there'll be the rare times where it's evident that, you know, no one gets maybe tilted by something in the early stages that happens in the mid lane. But other than that, you know, you get yourselves out of a good lane with the boys on VP, they're not going to crumble. They always have some sort of sense of direction in the games that they play. they never sort of lose sight of the victory.
Yeah, outside of a couple weeks in August, you could argue that they're the best team in the world.
That's true. The giveaway, ladies and gentlemen. Put exclamation mark Maincast. And you'll win. I don't even know what we're giving away. I think it's Arcanas. I imagine it's probably what it is. So if you want some Arcanas, go for it.
Vlad told me it was actually
what we got?
A Lamborghini.
Oh wow. I'll take it. I've won it. The results are in. I won. Thank you very much for that. Lamborghini for that. There's Joe. He's rotting away as the PL army absolutely destroys the heals as well. That classic combo with the dazzle. That's a huge heal bomb and a half. It's bottom lane. The Racks are in trouble. Nine trying his best to do something to stop the push of the PL. So we're going to this beautiful cinematic mode as we see the bottom melee Racks fall. The zip in from no one as he's ready to try and find some kills. He won't find them as Nine keeps the distance. There's still 20 seconds without Esther Joe. Ramses has got a Reaver on the PL. He's pushing down the mid lane. Another tier 3 tower is taken. There's no one. Sees an opportunity, goes in to play with 9. 9 has got the Remnant prepared and back a base. So 9 keeps himself safe. But the base, it's another story. VP, they've not just managed to find the bottom set of Racks, they're finding the middle. Hester Joe does get the jump in. They'll take down one, but now no one. He's still got a lot of mana to play around with. They can't quite finish off the Storm Spirit. No one is fine. As now they're down 2 sets of Racks, Team Spirit. They've got the Fiend script, but there's no one with the counterplay. Zips in straight away as both Skyder and FNG will fall without buyback. 9 throws out a Remnant, but he's already being slowed by the Diffusal Blade. And GG is called. Another clean win for Virtus Pro, ladies and gentlemen. We saw it from them in Game 1, and we certainly saw it once again from them here in Game 2. As Virtus Pro, they're certainly back in full form, full action. And even in that game, as we sort of said at the start, where the draft from Spirit was definitely playable, and we did see to an extent them get some of the jobs done. They were finding pickoffs, they were getting kills. But Virtus Pro looking very hot.
I don't really have much to say. Yeah. The way they move around the map, it's almost as if they all know where each other are on the map at all times. Yeah. It's like watching the Spurs play basketball like 4 or 5 years ago, where like the court vision, you know, where
I
it's
really
just like they all have eyes in the back of their head, and they feel almost the pace of the game, when to move in, when to go back. The way they cast spells in unison is excellent. It's just really a well-oiled machine, and these guys looked unstoppable for the better part of last season. I would not be surprised if they not just dominate this tournament, but maybe continue to do so as the young season gets underway.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we've only just seen sort of a glimpse of what we know that Virtus Pro is capable of, as they do knock Spirit out of the competition 2-0. They'll be moving forward. We'll see a lot more action from Virtus Pro as they will begin to get challenged a little bit more as they sort of step up to some of the other teams that have managed to make it through to the next round of this tournament. As we'll look forward to seeing much more action from the boys on VP. But for today, that is the final Dota 2 game. Don't go anywhere, though, as we've got a bit of analysis to come up after the back of this series. 2-0 to Virtus Pro.
Place your bets at gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players.